All right, folks. This is Lonzo, the godfather of West Coast hip hop and the president of the Compton Entertainment Chamber of Commerce. And every once in a while, one of my friends, shout out to my man Alberto, he will refer somebody to me that has a mission that is near and dear to my heart. This lady who I'm about to interview, she represents an organization called Street Racing Kills. And believe it or not, I'm a victim of, of a death from street racing. Before we get into that, I'm happy to bring on the platform right now Miss Lili Trujillo. How you doing, Lili?
I'm doing great, thank you. It's a beautiful day out there.
It's a beautiful day out here today. Lili, tell us about your organization and what you do and why you do it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, where do I start? I'm going to start from the beginning. So I
Okay.
founded this organization back in December. Okay, sorry. Let me start again. December 7th, 2013 is when my daughter was killed,
Okay.
and it was due to a street racing crash. Uh,
Ooh,
After
man.
that, yeah, yeah. I mean, losing a child, it was something I've never heard about. I never heard about street racing. I never really like understood the need for speed. I didn't know how many crashes there were out there. I had no idea this was going to blow up the way it has now. But I did know that I was going to spare a parent from losing a child no matter what after this happened to my daughter and to my family. And within 5 months of my daughter's death, I was already in my first school speaking.
Okay.
And I have never stopped for the last 10 years ever since, creating programs, creating ways to solve the problem, to minimize the problem from sparing a parent from losing a child, passing legislation, working with the street racing task forces. I mean, working with the at city councils and everything that I have done, re-infrastructure of the streets, trying to fix this. But more than anything, mentoring the youth has been always my passion after what happened to Valentina.
I have to ask a question. Was she a passenger or she was a bystander or how was she involved? How was she there?
Valentina was a passenger. She
Okay.
was she was 16, and with her two other girlfriends, three teeny boppers, went to a party. And at the party, there was a teenage boy himself, a week shy of 18. That he's the one that took him there, and he's the one that was taking them all back home after the party. And on the way back, he saw a co-worker. He was in his 20s, and they challenged each other to a race. And this is in Wilmington.
Mm.
And as they challenged each other to the race, the two girls in the back, which my daughter was behind the passenger seat, she was sleeping because she was tired, and they were only going 5 blocks down the street. She knew
Mm.
of it, and they challenged each other to a race. So when he pulled the window down, the girl that was behind him woke up because the air hit her, and she heard the whole conversation, and that's it. So when she felt the speed of 80 miles or more an hour, she got scared and put her seatbelt on and tried waking up Valentina to tell her to put it on because they were in danger. But she was very quiet. She was just very scared. And Valentina looked at her and said, "What are you talking about? For what?" Like, and then he crashed against an SUV. That SUV was a longshoreman and a lady. The car flipped 3 times, ended on its back. That deviated him to go right through a fence. And the only one that was killed was Valentina in that crash. But as I read it, as I was able to finally read the report, and when I was going through my grieving process and finally able to read it, I said to myself, well, what did I do wrong as a mom? Was I too lenient? Was I too strict? Was she a bad teenager because she went to a party? I said, well, and then she didn't have her seatbelt on in the back seat. I said, if he didn't race, he would have taken her home. If he wasn't going over 80 miles an hour, he wouldn't have crashed. He would have had time to stop because there was the line turned red, and he couldn't. When he saw that light, it was yellow. He couldn't stop anymore. But by the time he crossed, it was red. So he hit the lady. Um, and I said, "Oh, a street race killed my daughter. 80 miles an hour killed my daughter." And I knew I was not going to stop. This is the only way I can have her. This is the only way I can have her. So I'll be doing this forever.
You know, when Alberto told me about your organization, I immediately said I wanted to interview you because like I said before, I too am a victim of street racing. Picked up my mother-in-law from LAX airport, coming down Crenshaw, headed east. I'm coming down Century Boulevard, headed east. And just like what you just said, two guys were racing down Crenshaw. Light was green for me, but they ran the red light. Hit me going 100 miles an hour. Only thing to save my life was they hit a cab that was right just ahead of me in the other lane. They hit a cab and deflected off the cab, and that took some of the impact and hit my car. It folded up my Suburban. I was in a Suburban, and it folded my Suburban like a sheet of paper. And my passenger, who was my mother-in-law, she was ejected from the car, and she died right there on Century and Crenshaw.
Oh, wow.
So I definitely understand your pain. And people don't understand, even after even if you're a survivor, the traumatic experience follows you for life.
Oh, yeah.
I know for me, it's hard for me to get. I talk to my Uber drivers before I get into an Uber. We have to have a conversation. Look, man, I'm a victim of a fatal auto fatality. I'm skittish, and if you drive too fast, I'm gonna hit you in the back of the head. Okay, they laugh, but I'm serious.
Yeah.
Drive too fast, I'm gonna hit you in the back of the head. Okay.
Yeah,
And
it's so
I've been
true.
very blessed. And it's just amazing. It's just and without even right now, that happened 20 years ago, maybe 21. When I crossed Century and Crenshaw, even in the light is green, I'm very cautious. Even if I'm the first car at the light, I will not go right away because too many people will fly through an intersection and honk their horn, bob, bob, and come flying through. Light just turned red, or it was yellow, but it was just turning red. And if you go out there too fast, you'll find yourself in a major accident. So what Alberto mentioned to me, what you do, and in fact, I have a sign called Hood Peace, Stop Street Takeovers. Whatever we can do to work together on that, you got my support 110% because I can't stand street takeovers. Oh my God.
Oh my God, tell me about it. It's just crazy that they are so out of control. There's so much going on. That's not anymore. I want people to know it's not just a takeover. This is not your party. I always tell the young people, this is not your party. This is everybody's party. Anybody can be there. There's other people besides the people doing the donuts. They're doing even worse things. There's people. There's shootings. There's people stabbing people. There's robberies. Believe me, there's kidnapping. There's everything there. Why even go to a takeover? But unfortunately, a lot of people want to go to them. There are people that are young and immature. There are people that are go there on purpose to do something bad, and you just never know when you do something like that. This is really the takeovers have taken over Los Angeles, and it's really sad.
Compton was notorious for takeovers. Compton City Council just passed a major piece of legislature that will definitely slow down. I feel will definitely slow down street takeovers in Compton. They'll be confiscating cars. And here's the crazy part. They don't have to catch you that day while you're doing the donuts. If they get your license plate number, they'll wait till you go home and tow your car right out the driveway and take you to jail. Okay?
Yep.
If $1,000 fine for spectators and possible car impoundment. They found that a lot of people, when the cops were really cracking down on them, a lot of people that were spectators of the street takeovers were not from Compton.
Yep.
They were from Orange County, Santa Ana, other cities, and they did it because I guess Compton has a reputation, and they wanted. We went to Compton. We're going to Compton, and that's what the sheriff actually told me, that a lot of people just come from out of town that didn't have driver's license, had addresses from outside of Compton, Paramount, other cities, and that made it something that I guess coming to Compton was part of the attraction. But they're gonna break down on that right there.
Totally.
Tell me how effective have you been so far?
Well, one thing I do agree with you. I have a diversion program in which the court sends me these individuals that are caught by the police. They go and then they come to my program where we mentor them and educate them. And most of the ones that are coming from Compton Courthouse always tell me the same thing. Oh, I had two girls tell me it's because the tacos in Compton are really, we were just eating tacos and it started next to us. I said, all right, okay, you were just eating tacos. Then I have another one. And this is like 4 or 5 of them told me the same thing. I was visiting my girlfriend. So I was talking to the mayor and I told her, you must have really pretty girls in Compton because these guys are coming from Orange County, from Joshua Tree. I mean, come on, you must have beautiful girls here in Compton because they all say they're coming to see a girlfriend. So I was laughing, right? But I do see them. You're right. They come from different parts of LA, Kern County, you name it. However, because of this new ordinance, the word has gotten around. So I think I'm just praying, but the only thing is that they're just going to go to another area. But definitely, I think we'll be seeing a slowdown in Compton from them really not going because they know of the ordinances coming up and they do know that they're going to be confiscating cars completely, not just
Yeah.
not impounding your car.
Now, you know what's amazing though? I was me and the sheriff was having a conversation about this, and I noticed certain things are in Compton that you don't find in Lakewood, you don't find in Carson. They may try it a little bit. But for some reason, I guess Compton's reputation, if you have a tough reputation, we were in Compton doing donuts. Okay, I don't see a lot of donuts being done in Carson. They tried it in Lakewood for a couple of weekends. That shit got shut down very fast. You darn sure won't see them in Redondo Beach. Redondo Beach has a ordinance against loud mufflers.
Okay.
I saw the sign myself. I was leaving the Redondo Beach Performing Arts Center one evening. They had a trailer. Loud mufflers will be fined $2,000. Okay, so it looks to me that if you hit them in the pocket, you'll be able to detour a lot of this stupidity. But on the side of the kids, on the side of the kids, I got to say one thing: we don't provide enough activities for young folks. Most of the activities that they have right now are all indoors, video games, things of that nature. There's no place for them to really go and just have a good time. And they create their own good times. And Instagram and Facebook and other TikTok don't really help it because everything they do goes up on the internet.
Yes, no, I agree. And they do. And one thing that I really, really I advocate for, and you can call me crazy, whatever you want, but I do advocate for more legal places for these people to go. I think that we can clean up a lot. I think that we should not just be talking about legislation, education, infrastructure of our streets. It's definitely 100%. It has to be done. Law enforcement, it has to be done. But you also have to find a way of finding a place where these people can go. Besides Irwindale, that is pretty far away. If you
Right.
ask them, if you ask each one of them, because I ask each one of them, they have to sign a petition for me. They have to do a survey for me. They all want a place to go. They want a closer place to go. And I know that we're not going to take care of 100% of the problem. But if you think if we get even 70% or the 80% of the problem, how many lives are we going to save if we do that?
Now, also, you sound like me. You are in favor of them doing what they want to do in the proper place.
Yes,
Okay.
100%. Give them a place to go. My gosh, please.
Now, that's the only problem we have with that is being that I'm into politics and real estate, the whole 9 yards. To find a facility that's willing to take that responsibility in LA County with the cost of real estate and everybody being so happy, it would be difficult. I mean, we used to have lions. When I'm thinking about it, I just downloaded a picture of Ascot Park. You wouldn't know about Ascot Park, because you're too young for Ascot Park.
Yeah, no.
That was in Gardena, Vermont. There was a dirt track in Gardena, right where Home Depot is. Okay, right where Home Depot is. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, right where Home Depot is. Oh, I'm talking where the junkyard is. There's a place called Ascot Park. Ascot Park had figure eight races, dirt bike races, all kind of races. Then we also had Lions Drag Strip, which is right there off the 405 freeway, right near where it's like a train station right now, right over by the train station. But there were a lot of places. Then you had Terminal Island. That was another place. I used to be in the car. I'm in the cars myself. Never much of a speed racer. I like low riders and things like that. But I did have a little car that I thought was kind of fast back in the day. And we would go out to Terminal Island and race against the clock. You couldn't race against nobody else, just the clock. And
did you meet Big Willie?
Big pardon?
Did you meet Big Willie?
Big Willie?
You did?
Oh
my God. He's like, oh my God, I read everything about him.
Big Willie was the man. He was the man out of Compton, if I ain't mistaken. He was the man. He was a guy that like the king of the street races back in the day.
Yes.
They used to hang out at Zorba's on Compton Boulevard. There used to be a restaurant, a pastrami restaurant called Zorba's on Compton Boulevard, and that's where all the street racers hung out back in the day. Okay.
Wow.
I was a low rider back then, so I'm still kind of a low riderish type of guy. I never want going fast, never my thing. I might burn a gallon of gas all day long in one of my cars. But I remember as a youngster, we had a spot right here on Vermont and Century. It was a Church's Chicken right there. And all the lowriders would go there and just hang out. They didn't do anything crazy. But for some reason, every time the cops showed up, everybody took off running. And they would scatter. And when they would scatter, they would act. That's when all the damage would happen because everybody's trying to get away from the police. And they would just start running around in car and burning rubber. And I never understood because all you had to do was buy a two-piece and sit there. But everybody ran, and when the cops ran, it would always cause major confusion. And then we had another spot. I lived off of Main Street in El Segundo, and that was an industrial area. And that's where a lot of these street races took place also. But again, the difference in the street racers of my generation versus the generation now is they would street race on industrial streets, and no houses were really affected. Maybe, but most of the people that were outside, they enjoyed the street races. They raced from 132nd to 135th Street. They had a light right there on 135th, and they'd come up 135th to 132nd, and it was pretty much all street racers and predominantly in industrial areas. So no homeowners were really kept up all night with somebody burning rubber and doing all that kind of stupid stuff. And that's the part I think it's really inconsiderate for you to put up in somebody's neighborhood and start doing donuts with a loud muffler, tires screeching, smoke everywhere, and it's 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. Come on, man.
Yep. That's exactly the pushback that we're getting. I've been asking a lot of cities for the support, and some cities will be, oh, no, we don't want that kind of people here. So other cities like the liability, the noise, the space, where, it's hard to find it is going to be hard to find a place where we have grown. Los Angeles has grown so much, we're so full of properties everywhere, and nobody wants. I mean, people complain about the noise of the airport. I mean, they want to get out of the airports. Can you imagine? I honestly, with all my heart, wish I could find a place. I wish Terminal Island will reopen, honestly. And the port does not want to give it back. You know what I mean? So it's just, we've been fighting also with the Terminal Island and asking them. And the Port of LA says, no, only containers can be there, nothing else. And then you go look at Terminal and it's empty.
Right.
They don't want to give it back. They don't want to give it.
And this is something I just thought about recently. We had street racing. We always had street racing, but the donuts didn't become popular until the movie came out, Fast and Furious.
Right.
Am I correct on that, or this is something?
I don't know. I think you're right. That's where they came out. I know for sure that the pandemic is what really threw it out there.
Right. Okay.
But for what I've talked to people, I talk a lot to my offenders. So they've told me it used to be, they were donuts already going on, but it was more underground, warehouses, private events, but not the way it blew up the way over through the pandemic. It wasn't the way as it. And You know that this is not just a problem in Los Angeles. This is nationwide.
Right. Exactly.
Crazy.
Exactly.
It expanded. Like Miami has a really bad. Uh, Texas has a really bad problem. However, in Texas, there was a guy that was really smart. I guess there's it's not like here, that we're so crowded. He was able to buy a couple of properties a little bit outside areas,
Okay.
and he built the burnout boxes. It's called Texas House of Power. If
Uh-huh.
you ever want to check that out, then you'll see how they can do their donuts legally. It gets a little wild, but at least it's a place where you can go do it legally. And he has three locations in Texas.
Well, I would think Pomona would be a good place for something like Pomona Drag Strip out there. Irwindale. Irwindale is far, but it's not that far. It's off the 605 freeway. It's not that far. In fact, Irwindale was even offered to let them come out there, didn't they?
Yes, Irwindale has one burnout box. So they do. They go out there. You can, for $20, you can go and do your donuts there. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. No place. I don't see no place in South Bay. Torrance, Gardena. There's
And the cities don't want it. They'll be like, even if they had it, they'll be cities be like, no way. This is the cities that they don't. How can we convince the cities? You know what I mean?
right. You'd have to go out to Lancaster or Moreno Valley, deep into the desert to,
Yeah.
to minimize the liability and to minimize the noise factor. And again,
Um,
that's a nice little drive.
yeah. Well, on Riverside just opened just a strip on
A,
Riverside.
a drag strip.
A drag strip. Yeah, it's a small one. It's not that big, but he's getting a lot of people off the streets over there.
Interesting. Interesting.
That's Riverside. Yes, I think it's called River. I don't forget the name of it, but I think it's Riverside Speedway.
Okay. When you see street takeovers turn into looting situations like they did around the corner from my house and over on Alondra and Alondra and Central. I mean, you got 100 kids in the middle of the street, and all of a sudden somebody go to the bag of potato chips. All of a sudden, 300 people want potato chips for free. And
Right.
again, that's another problem that I think is just disrespectful to the business people and to the community at large, is the fact that you think for some reason, because it's not really a felony, you can just walk into a store, a mob of people, and walk out with whatever you want for free. By my house, they had guys hopping over the counter, taking cigarettes and cartons of cigarettes. That's just ridiculous. So
Right.
yeah.
It's a problem, but I think that honestly, I think there is a cure. This is not a disease. This is not a cancer. I think this is a cure. I think we can, if we all keep working together, we can hopefully take care of this as much as I can. There's a lot of legislation coming by already, a lot of legislation. So I think with all the legislation, all the street racing, everything together, and hopefully getting a venue, I think we can minimize the problem, especially now that they're going to be taking the cars away. And then they're not even waiting for legislation. The city themselves are creating these ordinances where they'll be completely confiscating the car. So I think everything together, hopefully, we'll be able to minimize it. Most importantly, is the loss of life that we want to prevent. Too many people are dying, and it's not fair.
Lily, where do you work out of? What city do you work out of?
At Torrance.
Okay, all right. So you're local and good.
Yes,
Good.
I'm locally here, and I can't wait to go to the schools in Compton. Actually, I'm working right now on a contract. We're waiting for a little bit of paperwork to go through, and hopefully we can start going to the schools in Compton. I want to do some community events there as well because we offer scholarships. It's called the Vows Respect the Road Scholarship, and we give them free driving school to the students. They're not driving yet. They just have to do an essay for us, have to let us mentor them, have parent conferences as well. So we're really excited about starting to do that.
Do they still have driving education in school?
Nope, gone completely.
Come on, you joking?
Completely gone. Can you believe it? And I go to the schools and it's so hard to get in. You have no idea. They give me all this. Oh, we want our kids to graduate. They're too busy. And I gotta tell them, do you know how many kids are not going to graduate because they died in a crash? Do you know that my daughter was not even driving? And I wish she would have gotten that awareness, somebody to talk to her about the dangers of takeovers, the dangers of street racing, the dangers of speeding, how important it is to have your seatbelt on, how important it is to have the skills that if you're in a bad situation, you fight for your life to get out of that car. These kids don't know anything. And they want to have fun. They want to drive and they want to have fun. Where is the awareness? I cannot believe California took away driver's education from school. So one of my biggest fights that I have, Alonso, is to convince a legislator to please bring it back through the DMV or at the schools. But bring back teen traffic safety education. You don't have to bring back the cars. There's plenty of driving schools. Bring back that awareness. Don't let these kids get their permit before they don't receive education.
You know, we used to have a class that showed you all the tragic accidents.
I heard about it.
Part of the driving. See, you must be you're a little younger than I am. Okay, when I was going to school, they had all these drunk driving accidents. They didn't show you the bodies; they would show you the wreckage. Okay, and when you see a car and the engine's been knocked out the car around on the other side of the tree, it makes you think about how fast you should be going. Or you see a car that's turned into an accordion. I mean, the front seat and the trunk is one piece. It really makes you think about what you're doing or what can happen behind the wheel if you're not careful. And that was always amazing.
Yes, and you know that when I go to schools, I have to show my videos before because they don't want them to be too graphic. They don't allow us to bring graphic videos. I'm like, okay, so here I am. I have to clean up my videos. However, for the intervention program, the one that the court refers to me, because I already know I show them raw videos. Oh yeah, they're gonna see. Because honestly, we have TikTok, we have Instagram. You see worse things there, right?
Come on.
I mean, these kids are watching TikTok all day long, and then you want to give them a little cartoon. I mean, come on.
They used to try to scare us with marijuana. They had this marijuana movie called Reefer Madness, and it showed you if you smoke marijuana, you go crazy. I mean, it took me forever to hit a joint. Okay, they scared the hell out of us back in the day. I mean, that between it's called Blood on the Street, Blood on the Road, or something like that. It's called Blood on the Road, and they would show you all the. Huh?
Red asphalt. That's what.
Red asphalt. Thank you. Red asphalt.
Either, but my husband tells me about red asphalt. Everybody has told me, "Oh, red asphalt." And I go,
red asphalt. That's what we had to watch and doing driver's training before you get behind the wheel. You had to watch red asphalt, and that would scare the hell out of you. Okay, and by the time you do that and get in the car with the two steering wheels and the two sets of brakes, oh, you was pretty good. You was pretty safe.
Yeah, listen, I think that out of all the things when we go to schools, the name of my program that I do at the school is called the Fast and Fatal.
Oh,
right?
I like that.
That's what I called it. That's what I called it. And when we talk to them, we really we want to make sure that of everything we talk to them, because we always go there also with a police officer, and he talks about certain subjects and we talk about certain subjects, but we're hoping that of everything we told them, something will stay in their head that they will remember when they're in the car.
You know what? And that's all you could ask for. You fight against a lot these days. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, everything. So if you can get them to retain something, you already beat the system, beat the odds already.
Yes, they see too much out there. They see people getting hit at a takeover and maybe taken to a hospital or maybe dying or nothing, and they're getting used to it. That's the sad thing about it.
That's the sad part. That's the sad part.
Used to death. They're getting used to just seeing somebody die.
When you see people that I watch videos, I subscribe to one of those YouTube channels, and guys are sitting on the car. All of a sudden, they're doing donuts, and the guy that was sitting out the car on the door is flying across the doggone crowd. Like, wow! And all they do is take pictures of it. They still videotaping.
Yes,
they still videotaping
instead of calling 911.
Nobody's down. They can't dial 911 and take pictures at the same. It won't work.
No, I've talked to many of them, and they are. And I'm telling you, I talked to these kids, and we go down to the level and say, okay, I said, please tell me why you do it, what has happened, what is it. I talked to the person who does the donuts. I talked to the person. I mean, and a lot of them have told me, you know what? I mean, one of them in particular, she told me it's a family that we have now. It's a community that we found now to be in. This is we're all together, and she even told me now one day, she goes, today we stopped someone from burning a car. So in their own little community, they have their own little, some are this way, some don't allow this, some don't allow that. You know what I mean? Some just want to do that. There's some that are actually within the community that they have. We think they're heartless, but they're not.
Lily,
You know what I mean? Yeah.
time is almost up. Where
Okay.
can they find you?
They can find me. Please go to streetracingkills.org. Follow me on Instagram, please, and on Facebook and on TikTok. I'm there. I'm always showing everything that we do at the schools, everything that we do everywhere. Our events are always there. If you want me to come to your city, please reach out to me. Reach out to us, Street Racing Kills. We'll be happy to come to your city and have any event that you need. Parent conferences. Invite us to your schools. If you have the means to get us into your schools, we're more than happy to go there and go ahead and create more awareness and education and save some lives.
I'm gonna get you some of my signs as well. We'll talk later, okay?
100%. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming on the show, Lily. Appreciate your time, darling.
Thank you for having me.
Keep up the good fight. Much love, Alberto. Keep doing it, Doc. Keep doing what you do. All right, peace.